opportunity to speak to council. My name is Linda Flannery. I live in St. Albert, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself tonight. I couldn't help but respond to the slick, smooth presentation on the budget that you received earlier today. Boy, it was a humdinger.
Is that a point of criticism? Because if it is, we're going to stop now.
Not at all.
Okay, thank you.
It said we're all right to Martha and Henry because the dollars spent per residents shows that we're doing okay. The problem with that is that other cities have lots of revenues from industrial and commercial that gives them more money to spend, and we don't have that money. It says we're okay on employment. We're lower than others. But it compares us with standalone cities that provide services that we don't supply. Yet to see actually there was an acknowledgement that it wasn't an apples to apples comparison. It compares dollars by type of services. For example, if you pay to have your garden done, your lawn mowed, security, house cleaning, that, what you pay for city services should look cheap by comparison. But, many of Martha and Henry's out there, in terms of taxpayers, we can't afford those services. We do them ourselves. And we can't afford the city tax increases either. It says we need a big increase this year because we have had modest increases in past years. After some large increases early in the 2000s. Well, those large increases earlier in the 2000s created a huge city-based budget that you have today, and percentage increases on that huge base budget in absolute dollar terms are far, far greater than they would have been for an equal increase back in 2002. Fundamentally, the presentation, as I see it, tries to rationalize why St. Albert has the highest taxes for residents in Alberta when you take into account assessment levels and when you look at the cities that the city of Edmonton studied. Everything said, with respect, does not change this fact. Residents here in St. Albert are paying the highest taxes. And part of the reason that is so in comparison to those other municipalities is that they have big pots of money that come from industrial commercial bases. And that means on a dollar per resident basis, they do spend more because they have more money to spend, but it doesn't come from the residential taxpayer. St. Albert's really cash poor from that perspective. But we don't spend as though we're tax poor from that perspective. So contrary, I suggest that we're paying, the everyday taxpayers paying more than they should in St. Albert for the services that we receive. The presentation you have been asked for, basically, a 7.3% increase in expenditures. Now that's been brought down to 5.31%, but that's because every efficiency saving, every revenue increase, and all the dollars in revenue that you get from increased assessment is going to support it. This doesn't bode well for the contention that getting more of an industrial tax base will be used to lessen the tax burden for the residential taxpayer. Rather, it suggests that new assessment will be just to support more spending. In contrast, rather than a budget that recognizes that St. Albert is a bedroom community with quite a marvelous history, but a bedroom community nonetheless, we have a budget that acts as though we are a standalone city, providing the full range of services that standalone cities do. It ignores the fact that Edmonton provides us huge recreation and cultural opportunities. It ignores the fact that we don't have or operate operate gas plants, electrical plants, water treatment, and sewage plants. It ignores the fact that we are industrial tax poor, and that will not change in the short term. In short, it's a spend budget. So we encourage Council today to say no to this 7.3% increase in spending, and we suggest that a expenditure increase more in line with what the Canadian Federation of Independent Business in their study said municipal sustainability increases should be more in the range of the cost of living plus growth and population. That's far below what you have been asked to authorize. Thank you.